You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean Johnson.
The AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's So You Think You Can Dance After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's So You Think You Can Dance After Show.
Wait.
What's up, boys and girls? Bing is for doing. We're here at AfterBuzz Studios in lovely Hollywood, California. I'm your host, AJ Gibson. We're covering So You Think You Can Dance. This is season 10. We're down to our top 8. 2 more eliminated tonight.
Oh, no.
It's a big one. It's a big one. Welcome back. I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Chloe West, to my right. How are you, Chloe?
I'm so good, AJ. How are you?
I'm doing great. You look really bright tonight.
Oh, thanks. I feel great.
I love it. Apparently, we're all wearing colors tonight.
Yay!
Because we don't always wear colors. Jake, let's go to you next. I know it's not ladies first, but I have to shoot it to you. How are you?
I am
Jake
great.
Dupree.
How are you?
I'm great.
Yeah.
I like your color.
I like your glasses.
Look there. Look.
Oh, yeah.
No lenses. Frames only. I have 20/20 vision. What's up, Kristyn Burtt? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
You're excited. There go the shoulders. When the shoulders go up, that means they're excited.
It's going to be a good week.
That was the quietest intro music forever, and just keeps fading out slowly. Probably because it's giving me the airwaves right now, because I have to make a big announcement, you guys. We have 2 huge guests in the studio tonight. From season 9, we got Audrey and Matthew. How are you two?
Good. How are you guys?
Yeah.
Where's the fake applause from the booth? No? Let's try it again from season 9. Audrey and Matthew. There we go. Nice.
Can I say,
Yes.
last night, I actually went to Last Man Standing last night, just totally like dropped that I was like hanging out with Tim Allen, but I have a spider here too next to me.
Okay.
Lots of things going on, but Audrey texted me and said, hey, can I bring Matthew? And I was like, heck yeah.
That's incredible. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
I'm equally excited about both of you.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Until I wasn't even sure who we had coming in this week. Kristyn takes care of all that stuff, and I just kind of I'm like, good job, Kristyn, thank you. She brings us great guests every single week, and then I get excited when I get here. I knew a few hours ago when I finally checked my Twitter. I'm a jerk like that.
I sent you 2 emails.
I know. I don't check my emails very often.
Whatever.
I'm the worst.
I like to be surprised.
The worst.
I'm surprised.
We have
I'm happy.
Ryan Gosling in the studio.
I know, Ryan Gosling.
Seriously.
Do you get that every day of your life?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not that
Sweet.
bad.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a really
It's
good
just
one.
so funny because
Every Instagram picture I ever posted of him, there's so many comments. They're just like, oh, he looks so much like Ryan Gosling. He's cuter than Ryan Gosling.
funny. Oh.
You should
Never
tag
mind.
Ryan Gosling in them just to get more likes.
I should.
Good idea.
I'm going to do that.
Next time.
We're doing it tonight. Hashtag Ryan Gosling, our first hashtag of the night.
Oh, that's right. I know our friend Jonathan, who does all our hashtags, he's in El Salvador this week.
What?
I know. He's watching. He said he's
They have
watching.
AfterBuzz in El Salvador. We're in 77
So
countries,
think
y'all.
you can dance, El Salvador.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, wow. I bet they haven't.
We're here in LA, and we're talking about the best show on television, you guys.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this Mia Michaels, this opening number.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my
Twisted
gosh.
Circus.
Yeah, right?
loved it.
I thought it was pretty sick. I liked it a lot. There have been some great opening numbers this season.
I couldn't tell who did that until they said it was her, and then there was all this twerking and stuff. It was like, I feel like there's like a hip hop choreographer in there doing something.
That's
but
what I was thinking too. I was really trying to guess the whole time. It's actually been fun guessing who's choreographing the opening numbers now. You're like, who is it?
Well, they've talked about that a lot this season, how the styles are all kind of blending and meshing, and everybody's kind of like delving into these other styles. There's very little like straight up contemporary now on the show, or straight up jazz, or they're all kind of blending together. What do you guys think? What do you guys outside of your styles, what other styles do you like to dance or to blend together? What do you guys like to see? Your favorite mashups in dance?
I mean, I'm a big fan of just good old 80s jazz.
Hey,
Honestly,
we love it.
I love just
our
like a
favorite.
good batla, jazz split.
Jazz split
Jazz
roll
split,
and then
roll.
roll up. So good,
My
man.
follow-up question would be, what year were you born?
1993.
Awesome.
So cute.
That's embarrassing. I actually remember the 80s. I lived through them, and
You're lucky.
Were you
Yeah.
jazz splitting in the
Yeah.
80s?
I was.
he was.
No, but I used to watch. What movie was it where they all like the hip hop dancers had to raise money and save something, and they all wore black and red leather. Oh, what movie
Electric
was it?
Boogaloo.
Yes. Oh, my favorite movie from the 80s. So you don't even know.
I know.
I feel
not
like
that one.
I should.
No, and the Classics 80s dance is solid gold. And people need to go YouTube that if you have.
I have the huge poster in my room. Solid gold. Solid gold dancers.
The gentleman I was with last night's Last Man Standing, he represents Darcel, the
No.
yes, the lead dancer on Solid Gold, and he's like, I'll introduce you guys. I'm like, I'm thinking.
Can I be here for that?
Totally. We'll make this happen.
Do you know what I
somehow.
wanted to be when I was a little kid? When I grew up in a small town, Ohio, in a little farming community. First of all, my favorite song in the entire world, my first favorite song was "I Want to Dance with Somebody" by Whitney Houston.
Oh, so good.
And I wanted to be a solid gold dancer. That's it.
Who didn't?
Okay, first of all, there are no male dancers where I come from. None. I mean, there are no dancers for Kent Boyd grew up 20 minutes from me.
I do know a couple from Ohio.
Yeah, but no, moms were like, no, they're gonna think you're gay. They're gonna think you're gay. Guess what, mom? I'm gay. You're welcome. I'm the only
Whitney
one-
Houston is my favorite
and the only
song.
non-dancer in the entire studio, so it's fantastic. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. So this opening number was pretty sick. Did anybody stand out for you? And first of all, who was not dancing in this number?
Aaron.
Why? Do
He
we
had
know?
a shoulder injury. And the producers gave him the option to dance or not dance completely, and he chose to do his individual dance with Chelsea and chose not to do the group dance to save his shoulder.
And why didn't they address that in the show?
I don't know, because they've addressed every other
Yeah, they
injury,
have.
and that I thought was really strange, because I got a lot of comments from people on Twitter like, what happened to Aaron? And the only reason I knew is because we're going into Dancing with the Stars season, which Jake and I also do, and everyone's sort of guessing, like, is Chelsea going to be back as a pro this year? And she talked about, got some bad news. My partner this week, Aaron, injured his shoulder, so that's sort of where it came out of. I got it off of Instagram.
Got it. See, now I have issues with this. There aren't consistent rules on the show about when you dance or you have injuries, and you maybe 1 week you can dance and then you can still go through, or somebody might not go through because of an injury. It drives me crazy on the show, and it feels like a little bit. And I know they love Aaron. I know Nigel loves Aaron. He's a tapper. I love Aaron too. He's not my favorite, but I love him. I feel like sometimes they don't address certain things as much as they should, because they want to kind of just, let's let him slide.
Right.
Let's just let him go through.
But he did dance.
He did.
Yeah.
Versus when Tucker was injured, he
didn't
only
dance at
did
all,
his
yeah.
solo.
Yeah.
But
He
Aaron
didn't
is
do
hard
any.
to miss.
Yeah.
Right.
So when
Yeah.
you
He's a
look
big
at
guy.
your number, you're
A
like,
big guy, yeah.
where is he?
I was
Yeah.
expecting him to make some sort of like grand entrance or
I kept
something.
waiting.
I was like, where is he? Then he never
Like
came.
crawl out through the
Scary
middle.
Fly down or something.
Right.
That'd be awesome.
I know, everybody's gonna hate me very quickly. Okay, there's always
nervous.
something I say every week and everybody hates me for it, but I don't really care.
Well,
I kind of felt like the same thing that happened to Fiction a few weeks ago in the all guys number kind of happened to Jasmine in the group number. I did not see. He hates me when I say this. I didn't look at Jasmine at all.
Because you don't like Jasmine.
No. I love Jasmine. I love Jasmine in certain styles.
Yeah.
Against the other three girls, I thought they all outdanced her.
No,
bar
I
none.
think Jenna was really bad and Amy was awesome, and I just looked at Amy the whole
I
time.
did see Amy stuck out.
all I do
Amy.
is
Yeah.
watch Amy.
Amy's
That's all I do.
incredible.
The rest, I was like, I can't tell who is who. I did see Fiction in there a lot.
Yeah, and Tucker was like super weird.
And he had a weave. He had like a weave piece.
It was awesome. But he was like the creepy ringleader. But yeah, it was basically Amy. Tonight was like
Yeah.
Amy night.
It was Amy night, yeah.
I think it should always be Amy night. Just saying. She's incredible.
Okay, we
He
have
can do everything.
We have a fan over here.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's all I'll say about Jasmine for now. 'Cause
Okay.
Jake throws
gonna do it.
daggers at me. I'm gonna get some more flack for this next one too. Kat Deely, what were you thinking?
I know. It was a bad one
The
this
outfit
week.
was great.
She
The
has,
outfit
like,
was
Yes,
great.
She
I
has, like,
want that
one hair-
jumper,
yeah.
hair and the makeup.
Oh my gosh, she looks like she got out of the swimming pool and
Greasy.
greased her hair. Greasy, that's what I wrote down. Greasy.
No, I know the look she was going for.
Yeah.
But it was something about the makeup with the hair that just didn't go together.
Yeah.
I wish she would have just had like a high bun or something.
A high bun would have been fantastic.
Yeah.
Fashion report. We do this with
Right.
Kat
We
every
do, 'cause
week.
here's the thing.
Image.
We love
Here's the thing.
Kat.
Outside of Maria Menounos, our boss, we love you, Maria. We all think that Kat Deely is the best
She needs
female
that
host on
Emmy.
television.
She's incredible. She really is.
She takes
She is.
chances, which we love.
She does.
Every now and then she strikes out.
I'm pretty sure she had a bird's nest in her hair one episode, one time. Like I think there was something chilling there once, like a long time ago.
Sometimes it's hit or miss, I feel.
But I
Yeah.
love how
She
she
takes
interacts
it.
with you guys as contestants.
Oh, yeah.
She's so great.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
Even in like dress rehearsal, like right before the actual show, she's
Joking.
just so professional though. At the
But
same
she's
time.
like keeping us like our spirits up,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
especially nowadays, because like
So nervous.
they dance and they go home like same night, no 2 episodes. You know what I mean? So like she's
Yeah.
always just keeping us happy
That's
and like
awesome.
That's
just
really cool. And
That's
not a lot of hosts are actually really like that. I mean,
That's
I've been
kinda
to
what I feel like.
Enough tapings of shows where I see hosts are all like, and as soon as the cameras are
They
off,
do
they're
what
not
they do,
interacting.
and they dip.
Shut
Yeah.
down. That's
Yep.
it.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. I like to hear that because I adore her. I adore her. I just wasn't a
She's so
fan of
funny.
the.
She needs that Emmy.
Beautiful.
You know what she reminded me of tonight? you might remember this. Wild Things, Nev Campbell back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
Coming out of the water, hair slicked back, looking kind of like a hooker.
Who could forget that Denise Richards?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So,
All right.
tonight, for the first time in So You Think You Can Dance history, we've got the All-Stars coming back, but not just are they coming back, they're coming back as choreographers and dancers,
The
which is pretty
coolest
incredible.
twist ever.
Great.
It's amazing.
Brilliant, right?
So
last
great.
year,
Yeah.
the big twist last year, your guys' season was they brought back, was it last year, the Mia Michaels numbers?
Yes.
Yeah.
Didn't
Good
really
idea.
work as well.
It was a good idea
I don't
in
think it was a good
thought.
idea.
Yeah, in theory, it
In
made
theory,
sense.
it was like, oh, we're gonna do all the amazing numbers, and then it was like,
But it was
oh.
like, it would be like, as I've seen this in a magazine article, like Friends, you know, the show Friends, it's like my all-time favorite show. Okay, so, you know, if they were to bring another episode of Friends, it might just ruin the whole series because it just affects like your original idea of it.
Well,
Exactly.
a lot of people, that's what happened with Arrested Development on Netflix in a similar scenario.
really?
It was
Yeah.
so classic and like brilliant, and then it came back and everybody's like, maybe we should have left it where it was. Same thing, like, I think we look back at those Mia Michaels numbers.
Like, yes.
Experiment didn't really
terrible
work.
idea.
This experiment, I felt like it worked, though. I
It was
really,
great.
really
Oh, yeah.
loved
Yeah,
seeing-
no, I love this idea.
It's so cool because not many shows in reality do what this show does. First of all, it launches careers.
Yep.
And not only just launches careers in dance, but everybody branches off. Kent Boyd acting. He's got a movie out, the #2 movie on cable, whatever.
Disney Channel,
Yeah, on Disney Channel, Beach movie, and then
good.
and then now Teen Beach movie. Yeah, and now these dancers they're becoming choreographers, and they're legitimate choreographers now.
Yeah.
And I thought it worked brilliantly. I loved the entire night.
Yeah, and we talked a little bit about this before the show, but we were just saying it just gave some new life to the show. We've seen a lot of the same choreographers, and we love them all, but we've seen a lot of Nappy Tabs, and we've seen a lot of Spencer, and we've seen a lot of
Sonia.
and everyone else, and they're great, and we need them there. But it's also, you know, throw in some new choreographers once a week or something, and I think it makes a difference, and
it's
that's what we
fun-
saw.
It's fun to see the young, fresh perspective and to see choreographers who've been through the process choreographing for these dancers.
Yeah.
I
They
like
know
it.
what to do.
They know what America wants to see.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
I had a moment during this episode when I was thinking, gosh, when this show ends and we have 10 years or whatever to look back about how we will think of the show and how it affected the dance community so much. Because watching the choreographers, you're like, oh, I forgot they were on the show. I forgot they were even contestants. They're so beyond now. And
Well, we'll
it's
see
just
the
gonna
mark
be so
that
awesome.
Nigel made on dance, and we don't always agree with him, but he has
He
done
made it a household name, so
It's really incredible because I
wasn't
grew up.
before.
Dance was not something that was even heard of when I grew up. Like people didn't. Where I come from, in a little town in Ohio, nobody danced. We already talked about this, but nobody danced. Nobody was exposed to dance. I didn't even know ballroom dancing, or I didn't know the different styles of dancing. I knew what jazz was. I mean, because I'd seen Broadway shows before. That was it. I've seen the Fosse style. Like I was familiar with that.
Right.
But all these other styles like hip hop, and I didn't know what crumping was. I had no idea what that was.
Crumping, I
know
still don't even know what
B-boy.
Animators.
Animators.
I could
no
never
idea what they
tackle
were.
that one.
So the show's done everything for the world of dance. Jenna Elfman actually is a guest judge tonight. She's also got quite a pedigree
She
in the
does.
dance
Yeah.
world.
Yes.
She's been around for a while. She's worked with Adam Shankman. She's worked with Debbie Allen.
We love
Not
Debbie
Debbie
Allen.
Reynolds.
Not Debbie Reynolds. He makes the two up once.
Sometimes.
God, I wish it was Debbie Reynolds.
I know.
Love Debbie Allen, but that
Yeah.
would have been amazing.
I love this guy. I love him. I'm glad she dragged you along tonight.
Yeah, she didn't have to drag me. I was like, all right, cool.
Awesome. Awesome. So, at the beginning of the episode, we find out that Tucker, Fiction, Jenna, and Haley are in the bottom 4. Not really shocking.
No surprises, I don't think.
Yeah, not at all.
Fiction a little bit, but because he just hasn't been before.
But last week he didn't have a
Yeah.
great week. So did-
Yeah, I feel like the last couple weeks he's slowly starting to fade a little bit, which happens on this show. People come out with a lot of steam and they're front runners, and then
Do you think that even after seeing
Story of our lives.
Do you think that even though after seeing this episode too, that he's fading a little bit?
no, I thought he had a good night tonight.
Okay, good.
I think he finally had a good night. I think
They're giggling over there. You need to acknowledge
Sorry,
this.
Yeah, what's happening?
Just that statement.
just-
That was the story of our lives.
Yeah.
Fading.
I think that we got lucky the first 2 weeks and we nailed it, and people
And
were,
then-
and then they were just like, let's throw them
And then
salsa. And we said, okay, bye.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing on the show. First of all, there's a lot of luck involved with winning the show, first of all. And also, it depends on who the producers like, who Nigel
Definitely.
likes.
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely.
it's pretty transparent now.
If
The
you're
last few
in-
seasons, yeah, they're desperately trying to get character. They're trying to get another Twitch. They're trying to get like one of those huge, larger-than-life characters. And we see it time and time again. And they're not as shy about it anymore. They're very clear sometimes about like who they prefer to stay on the show and who they
Oh,
don't.
absolutely.
Especially the critiquing, I think, makes people vote differently. Obviously,
influences
it's
Oh, yeah.
definitely.
And I think gone are the days when like the contemporary dancers just dominate the show. That was years ago, and it doesn't really happen anymore.
Right.
But you also have to realize too, the audience is getting frustrated because we'll talk when we get to Jenna, but the audience has been very frustrated that sort of Jenna and Mackenzie were pushed along to the top 10 and everything else. And
Well, I love Jenna, but we'll talk about that in a moment.
she had a great week.
Yeah, she did have a great week.
But
She did
it
have a
was
great
too
week.
late.
Just really quickly, let's
Too
going through
little, too
going
late.
through the solos. They decided to let all of them to answer solos tonight, which I
Right.
enjoyed.
Yes.
Fiction, classic fiction, a lot of booty, a lot of charisma.
I thought it was so cute.
I do.
It was
I-
adorable.
I enjoy a good booty routine.
And every second was thought over.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
Now let's talk about now Tucker. I mean, the guy's just unreal. He's a god out there.
His
He's
solos
Such a
his feet are
technician.
incredible.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the girls then, because this is where I think the only I'm not sure. Based on the entire season, I don't know who I'd send home, Haley or Jenna. Based on their solos, I'd send home Haley. I thought she was beautiful. I thought
Pretty.
she didn't do anything wrong, but it was boring. I've seen that solo 1,000 times. I thought Jenna went out there and fought. I thought she fought the entire night, and I thought she was feisty, and I thought I enjoyed it. Doesn't turn out the way I wanted it to, but that's neither here nor there. Let's get into the actual dances.
Let's
though.
do it.
We start off the night with a jive. Aaron is partnered with Chelsea Hightower. The theme of the night is things that or people that inspired you. I thought this is the first time I've cried in a couple of weeks. Aaron was inspired by his best friend who he lost in high school, who was also a dancer, inspired him to become a dancer. Oh my gosh, heartbreaking. I feel like even if I were the greatest dancer on earth, I wouldn't do well in the show because I don't have some tragic, heartbreaking story.
No.
Like you have to anymore.
I didn't have a story at all.
Yeah.
I farted with my neck.
I had nothing.
Well, maybe
They were just like, you look like this guy, we'll run with it. And I was like, okay,
awesome.
sounds
awesome.
good to me.
I'll be Gosling,
Fantastic.
the
They're
dancing Gosling.
worst people to be compared to. No, but Chelsea Hightower, I love that she came back. I mean, she doesn't need to. She's doing Dance with the Stars. She's a pro now.
Well, she hasn't been a pro.
She wasn't a pro, though.
I know, but
Lindsay was, though.
Yeah, she was.
Lindsay was.
But I love Chelsea, don't get me wrong. I didn't mean to say that. That sounded
No,
weird.
we love them all.
I
But it's
just,
great that she came back.
Happy for Liz.
5 years later? 4 or 5 years later?
She was in their audition round. They did a choreography.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
But
And isn't that cool that Chelsea, Mark, and Courtney Galliano were all from the same season?
Yeah.
Oh,
Isn't that a fin-
that's
isn't that
awesome.
amazing?
I didn't even notice that.
That was kind of, to me, when So You Think You Dance was in his heyday. It was in his prime. Those few years right there, kind of like in the middle. Their season was one of my favorites of all time.
Oh, yeah. Mhm. For
Incredible
sure.
people. And the season 9, of course.
oh, you don't have to say that. But
Yeah, yeah.
thank you. No, yeah,
So,
seasons like 1 through 4, they really nailed it.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. And also, we've talked about this before, though. It's also because it was so new to us.
Right.
So if you
It's
were
true.
to flip it and
There's
all of a
none.
sudden watch season 9 first before anything else, you might think it's the most incredible thing you've ever seen.
Right.
Yeah.
But we've already seen so much up to this point.
I wonder if it has to do with the choreographers, though, because we've kept the same since the beginning, pretty much. We've added some new ones here
Well.
and there, but after tonight, when we saw some really fresh new choreography, you know, I wonder if that
I have 2
has
words for
something
you.
to do with that.
Wade Robson. He's brilliant.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's going through some shit, but he's brilliant.
Yeah,
Maybe,
where's he?
maybe he'll choreograph Instinct's routine at the VMAs.
Yes.
Oh
Maybe
my
he'll come
God.
I cannot wait.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, it's happening. It's happening.
That's exciting.
Wade is untouchable right now,
Yeah.
unfortunately, and I mean that
Yeah.
in a way that is very sad, honestly.
Because
He's untouchable.
It is
Because
really
maybe he
sad.
was
He was
touched.
touched.
Oh, wait. Oh.
Okay, wow.
We were all thinking it. Okay. Aaron and Chelsea.
Yeah.
They do a 1950s jazz. What do you guys think about this? What do you think about this dance?
I love jive. Oh gosh.
Or did I say jazz? I said jazz.
It's jive,
Sorry,
but
I
it's
said
okay. It's jive. And people for Dancing with the Stars are probably going to hate me. Chelsea Hightower's not my favorite. I don't love her choreography. I love her as a dancer. I don't love her choreography. And I thought that it was really hard to watch Aaron dance this. It was going to be hard for him anyway because he's really tall and it's a lot of quick steps and quick movements.
Which Nigel thought would help him, though.
Right, but I think he's just so big that a jive it's a lot of body to move at such a quick pace. But the funny thing that when Mary mentioned his shoulders, I'm like, he's the one with the shoulder injury. Why aren't we mentioning it now?
Right.
I thought that was weird, but it was a fun number. It was definitely not Aaron's best week, and I'm such a huge Aaron fan, so he's gonna have to battle back for next week, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That jump that he did over her back was insane.
It was good,
I mean,
yeah.
his feet are gorgeous for a tapper too, especially in those shoes. Like, their feet aren't always pointed to,
Yep.
But I just thought, for me, it wasn't my favorite, but I thought it was a good start of the night. you know, that's going to be a tough spot to fill, especially with the jive. That's not everyone's favorite voting thing. So it's just like, I don't know.
Ballroom's
I love
tough.
him. I love
Ballroom
him.
is tough unless you get like one of the Latin.
You can nail jive.
cha-cha.
You can nail a jive. Though.
Like cha-cha.
Danny Tidwell.
Oh, I think
Or
that's actually
possibility.
one of the
Yeah.
Latins.
Danny
but, like,
Tidwell
yeah.
with Anya a few years back, the jive they did. You can nail the jive on the
You
show.
can nail-
if
Did you say
get this
Danny?
right. Yeah.
Oh, well, he doesn't do anything wrong, really. That's probably why.
We see
He's
really
perfect.
good jives on Dancing with the Stars with people that are non-dancers. So that's why I was like, we've got two really good dancers here, and I think I just expected maybe a higher level.
Yeah, and I just thought that the choreography, I think he could have been given more.
Yeah.
I
in my
thought
opinion.
the concept was a little bit overdone. Like I feel like I'd seen it before.
Yeah.
It was a
agree.
bit frantic. I felt like the
Yeah.
entire dance was like such fast pace. Maybe you should have just pulled back a little bit just to make sure that you're hitting everything and it's actually going the way it's supposed to go.
Yeah.
I was thinking the entire time, and I was wondering, like, do we think it helps Chelsea? Like, do you think it helps her having done this so many times on Dance with the Stars for what she was on there for one season, just one or two?
No, she's been on.
Yeah.
Two or three.
lot.
Yeah.
2 or 3 seasons.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't watch it anymore. Sorry, but I watch So You Think You Can Dance. But does it help her that she's been able to work with other people as a choreographer in this style, or does it hurt her that maybe she hasn't been on Dance with the Stars for a little bit now and she's got some pressure to try to really nail a number
It
on
hurts
national
her.
television?
It hurts her because she's used to choreographing for people who don't know how to dance.
That's
and I
super
think
true.
that's why she didn't give Erin enough to do, is because in her head, she's choreographing really basic movements
Maybe.
for
Yeah.
large men who she normally gets. So, you know, and for her, and she's probably thinking, oh, this isn't his style. He doesn't do ballroom. I'm going to do this. And then if he gets injured while they're rehearsing, you know, I'm sure all of that had to go into
Well,
it.
she
take a
looked
step back.
hot.
She
That
looked
dress was
gorgeous.
I love that
sick. Her
dress.
hair
That was
was
cute.
unreal.
Yes.
I was proud of her.
She reminded me of Cha-Cha from Greece.
Oh yeah.
I was like, ooh, like, things
calm it
getting
down.
naughty.
Cha-cha from
Cha-cha
Greece.
from
Love
Greece.
that.
I'm sorry, I don't have enough 80s
These
dance
references from you,
movies
yeah.
for
78,
y'all.
kiddo.
Yeah.
78.
Oh, Kristyn, nice.
No,
Going
I didn't know
down
either.
the years.
Oh,
I know
no, I know, but I'm saying it. That was my only
Your only reference.
old dance movie reference. That's not like a classic Singing in the Rain.
You have
That's
to
all I
work-
got for
You have to
you.
work on that. Footloose? I don't know.
Saturday
All
Night
right.
Fever.
Yeah, exactly. Fiction and Allison. Got a contemporary number. Fiction. He's had a couple rough weeks, I thought. I thought this week he got lucky.
He got
struck
so
gold with
lucky.
Allison.
Great.
I
Yeah.
thought I thought it was a great piece.
It was
Yeah.
good.
I
It
think
was
it
really
showed
good.
off him, and obviously Allison's just.
Yeah, she was
beautiful,
smart.
I
yeah.
was just watching her though.
Yeah.
I
Well,
really, it
yeah.
was so hard to watch him. Like, not hard in that he was bad, but it was so hard to take my eyes off of her.
Do you think that was the case with a lot of dances this week?
No.
Well,
No.
I
don't
think
think
there-
anybody had.
I
I
think-
was
oh, I
very
think there were a
focused
few.
on like,
Yeah.
oh, they're bringing these people back, and I was
Right.
very. I mean,
Yeah.
except for.
With Comfort, I
Amy's.
was. I just want to watch Comfort dance
See,
all
now
the
that's
time.
Oh my
funny
God,
because
me too, man.
Yeah.
She
she's
is
great.
good.
I think we say that a lot on the show. Like, one of two things can happen when you bring the All-Stars back. One, you just stare at the All-Stars the entire time because you'd be so
Right.
excited to watch them.
Yeah,
Like,
You
oh,
miss
it's
them.
nice to see him
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
Or with the right combination, the All-Star brings the newbie up to par and they make them shine. And I feel like Fiction really shined at this.
I
feel
think
like
he did a good
Allison
job.
is so gorgeous and unreal as a choreographer and a partner, and she's one of those people she dances with zero ego, none whatsoever.
Yeah.
And she allowed Fiction the opportunity to just, oh my gosh. And he needed that.
They were
dance.
well matched too, body style, body size and everything else, which is so important because when you get like tall guy and the little petite girl, it can be hard sometimes, or vice versa. But I just thought it was pure joy to watch. It really,
He's pure joy.
he really is, and
Yeah.
I thought that this
Yeah.
was great. After a couple weeks where we felt like, oh, he's getting a little bit lost, that he really shined this week, and I don't think Allison overshadowed him, or I don't think he got lost. And I felt like last week he got lost a little
And
bit.
they told a story which I thought was cute. It was about interracial love, and she's experienced
Twitch and
that. She
Allison.
Twitch,
Right.
and people relate to that. People
For
vote
sure.
for that sort of thing. And it didn't feel like a lot of times these stories that they try to throw at you in some of these
It's a
dances
lot.
are like, okay,
It's like
all right.
it's very vague.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you've been overtaken by aliens, and there was actually an alien one. Okay, never mind. That was something else.
Big stretch.
But yeah, sometimes they're a little bit of a stretch. I
Yeah.
felt like she's lived this, so
Right.
Yeah.
I just
it
like
was
that she
relatable.
incorporated his style into this dance, but not to the point where it's like, okay, you're gonna do your own thing and just do whatever he
Right.
does, stop motion stuff, and then we're gonna do this. Like, she really incorporated all that, even from like going up and then going down to the floor and like really exploring that. It was just, I thought that she she really made it about him, and I think that's whenever the choreographers really succeed. It's not so much about them being like, oh, what crazy stuff can I do? It's like, let me showcase this person because they're the one getting votes. And so,
Did you think though the judges gave a lot of Allison talk though? That was the one thing.
Yeah.
She is Emmy nominated, which is great as a choreographer this year, but there was a lot of like, Allison, you're so beautiful. I'm like, she's not being judged, kids.
Yeah, I wrote down
Right.
the Allison show ? Like, because it was.
Yeah.
you
but
know,
it's hard not to talk about her though, you know?
Yeah, it was hard
It's
not
just
to
hard.
watch her. Yeah, and it was. I'm sure it's hard for the judges because they were used to talking about these people, and now they have to sort of pull back a little bit.
But at the same time, though, like a lot of these dancers, they're not necessarily choreographers on a day-to-day basis either. Some of these all-stars they brought back, so to give them like due credit, like that's pretty big. Like to say, look, you're fantastic at choreography. To say that on national television and you have an opportunity for them to maybe get nominated for an Emmy next season or whatever.
She's already nominated.
Well,
this
she
year.
is. But for some of these choreographers, though,
Other ones, it's a great
they
opportunity.
don't do this on a regular basis. So I think that's maybe they're kind of giving them their due, and
Yeah.
they came back. I mean,
It's true.
they came back. They came home, and they gave, and it helps the show.
Yeah.
And it helps these dancers.
And there's really no other reality competition show where people come back like that. Like, think of American Idol. People are trying to shed that American Idol like label so much, and nobody seems to want to shed So You Think You Can Dance. They all come back home, which is so cool.
It's a very different community. Dancers are very different than
Absolutely.
most other communities in the industry. They're just a lot more supportive of each other because they know, like physically, emotionally, like what it means to be a dancer and how short the shelf life can be and how difficult it
How
is.
tough, yeah.
Yeah, and so like I feel like they all empathize with each other and they want to see each other. In the hosting world, we're all cutthroat, and I would stab all of you for an opportunity. I'm kidding. I love you all. Okay, nobody in this studio at least. Fair enough.
All right.
All right.
Shade.
Let's move on to another contemporary number of a slightly different variety.
No, it's
Jazz
jazz.
piece.
Jazz.
Jazz.
Okay, why am I writing down contemporary
I
then?
don't know.
It was
Again.
contemporary lifts with a jazz song.
Okay, exactly then. Exactly. 'Cause that's where I get lost. It's another one of these examples
Hybrid.
of yes, a hybrid.
It's a hybrid.
I call them mashups because I don't know. So can we call it a contemporary jazz number?
Yeah.
do whatever you want.
Whatever you want.
Fantastic. We've got Tucker and Courtney together. Courtney's one of my all-time favorites. She was in studio last year.
She'll
with
be here
us.
next week?
Yes.
She's so sweet.
See, again, I don't know. I have no idea she's coming back. I love her. I'm glad I said I loved her then. That would have been real awkward. She's uber talented, sexy
Yeah.
as hell, and this piece was beautiful. I thought that there were parts of it that were a little weird for me, but overall, I really enjoyed it, and I really enjoyed the two of them together.
And
You
their
guys,
story. I like ugly cried when I watched this.
Yeah.
Definitely
Yeah.
cried.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know how. I mean, we all know Tucker's story, but a lot of people I don't think knew about Courtney's MS diagnosis. I know we've known about it, but
I don't think it was in the public eye.
I don't think so. I mean, she's doing a lot more in terms of raising money for charity and everything else. She's got a whole dance MS walk coming up in September, which she'll
great.
talk about, which is awesome. But the blindness, I don't think any of us knew
For a
about
month?
that.
Yeah.
It's scary.
yeah, scary stuff, and she's dancing as well as she's ever danced, and she looked beautiful.
And choreographing. I mean, come on, that's pretty incredible.
Yeah. And Tucker, I mean, just Tucker.
I feel like we needed to see this out of him earlier in the season. He's had a couple
Yeah.
good performances. I'm like, where was this in the first 4 weeks? He was late to the game on this, and because his technique is pretty darn good.
Wait, I
and-
felt like that too. I when I was watching the beginning, I feel like I didn't notice him at first. I was like, I don't know. He's really has shined lately. He was.
I
Yeah,
kind
it
of felt like he was always just like, oh, that's Jenna's partner.
That's what I was gonna say.
Jen-
He got
partner.
lost.
Yeah, and I felt like Jenna always was like, oh, it's Jenna, she's so good. Ballroom, this, that, this. And then Tucker was like, oh, he's a good contemporary dancer. But I
Which
didn't
is
really...
funny, though, because Jenna's always in the bottom three. So to be called Jenna's partner, I see what you're saying, though. I agree
Right.
completely. But, how weird is that? Because she's never
Yeah.
really been a favorite on the show.
But it seemed,
But it's always the Jenna show. I think the
all the
packages
choreographers,
even.
Yeah, totally.
all
Yeah.
the choreographers I feel like always feature her. You're the fierce one, and you're just like the guy that's after her.
that's
It's just like
there,
strange.
There is a disconnect, and when she gets her note later on from Jenna Elfman, not from Jenna. Yeah.
Jenna?
Both Jenna. Okay.
Yeah.
I questioned
Jenna.
myself once I said it.
Jenna 1 and 2.
Yeah, when she got the note later about reckless abandon, I think
That was for Haley.
That was Haley.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Yes.
I am so all over the
All
place,
this
you guys.
brunettes.
This tequila is really hitting me tonight.
Mama loves the juice.
Never mind. So I don't know what it is, but there's something about her that doesn't connect with the audience.
It doesn't, and I've seen the comments, and some of them are really mean towards Jenna, and I don't need to repeat them or anything else like that because they are unnecessary. But people are either in the pro Jenna camp or totally against her because I think a lot of people felt like she got pushed through way too much. But we've had choreographers in here, and they have said that she is one of the best people to have in studio. She'll try anything. She gives 110% every single time. She's got the best attitude. We're missing that somehow in the packages with her personality.
Yeah.
But we finally saw a little bit of softness in the package when she was talking about her cousin, I think it was. So.
See, now I just wanted to point out that we're talking about Tucker and Courtney right now, and again we're talking about Jenna.
Jenna, you're right.
How did I just do that? See,
Yeah.
it is exactly what you just said.
It just happened.
I just have to point out. I
you're
just have to
right.
point out with Tucker and Courtney, the split leg thing. She jumped up and he just caught her with her legs. Oh my gosh.
I liked the plank
That's just hot.
lift.
Yeah, that was
my
hot too.
favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought they were really incredible together.
What did you think about the song choice, though?
It was weird.
Yeah.
I thought it was strange to be a Romeo and Juliet thing. I mean, I think it's cool to maybe do something that's not like super classical with that, but it's just, I don't know. It was a strange disconnect for me.
I thought it was the Romeo and Juliet that was weird. I didn't
That's
think
what I'm
the song.
saying.
I
Yeah.
think the song was fine with the dance. I thought they were like trying a little hard with like, we're gonna do Romeo and Juliet. I'm like, oh.
Just dance.
It was
Yeah.
almost
just
like a
dance.
forced
Yeah.
story.
Yeah, I'm like, just dance, because at the end of the day, I'm watching you dance, and if the dance is good enough, it can stand alone. It doesn't need this like storyline. So I
Yeah.
think that was a little forced.
They're always, I always feel like they really like, they're forced, the choreographers, like, you need to come up with a good concept, when I feel like a lot of them on there, like Trav, he can just come up with an amazing piece, and it doesn't need a, I don't know, I don't need a story.
That's me. I totally agree with you.
I mean, don't get me wrong, the ones he comes up with and the ones that a lot of them come up with are awesome, but I just like, yeah.
But sometimes they're like,
a lot.
there's a mystery, and then all of a sudden someone dies, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm like,
oh,
what? Like sometimes I
okay.
watch a package and I'm like, fast forward. I don't even care about the story. I want to see the
Yeah.
dance. I want to see the movement.
Absolutely.
I feel like part of the issue was she took the lyrics of the song way too literally. Like it was like, oh, this makes sense because it's Romeo and Juliet, and like I'm like, not really. I'm like, it doesn't really. Like for me, when I watch some of these things, it's kind of like if I go to an art museum, I have no idea why I respond to certain pieces. I just do something. I look at it and I love it. I have no idea why. I could look at it for 20 minutes and just be in love with it. I want to experience that with the show. I don't want them to tell me what I'm seeing first.
Right.
I would rather just watch it and then be like, what was that about?
Right.
As opposed to, this is what you're going to see now.
Yeah.
And
now,
that's what dance is supposed to be.
If it's good enough, it'll come through. We'll figure it out. We'll
Yeah.
figure it
Yeah.
out for sure.
I remember the first time I was really, really blown away by dance was years ago. I lived in New York City. Like I wasn't exposed to a lot of dance as a kid, but I went
know.
to. Look, they're new, Chloe. I'm letting them
Yeah, I
know.
don't know.
You've only said it 3 times on the show tonight.
I have to just clarify that when I don't know what I'm talking about over and over again, I want to remind you guys I don't know shit about dance. However, I know what makes me respond. It was Momix
yeah.
in New York City.
Yep.
A friend of mine took me, and I'd never seen dance like that.
Unbelievable.
No words, no lyrics, nothing. It was just music, sound, and movement, and I got it. I understood it, and I just caught myself just crying over and over again. And I didn't understand why. I had no idea why. But that's how I want to feel. I don't want somebody to like tell me this is the story. React. Not a big fan of that. But they tried.
They go to the general audience.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
Yeah.
And we're gonna give you a story, and this is what it is. And
I'm not general. I'm like one step above general.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'd say
Yeah,
so.
you clearly are.
With the way you were talking
I would
about
say
it,
you're
for sure.
Absolutely.
You're
cultured.
steps.
All right, I've got pretty
You're
long legs.
cultured.
Those are pretty big steps. All right, so let's move on. We've got Paul and Comfort together.
this is hip hop.
This is, well, I know
I just
that.
wanted you to know
I know that.
that it's not contemporary or jazz.
No, it was not. There was nothing contemporary about this number at all. I thought the concept was pretty cool. I love Comfort. I mean, Comfort's a friend of ours, and
Yeah.
she's just
I just
fantastic.
love her.
I had a hard time not watching her.
I did too.
I didn't care though. I
Yeah.
was like, I'm just gonna watch Comfort, and then I'm gonna YouTube all Comfort videos after this because I miss watching
I feel like
Comfort.
she's underrated on this show for some reason as an all-star because we always go Twitch, and
Right.
he's amazing. We love him. But I go, has anyone seen Comfort? Like,
She's so good.
She's so
so
funny.
And she's so hilarious.
She's the most the
you
funniest
guys are
person.
friends with. You said she
Yeah.
comes.
She's
Yeah, you
tiny,
must
too.
know how hilarious that
Well,
girl
you know,
is.
she gets it from her mom.
Her mom
mom's
is
crazy. Her
hilarious.
dad's hilarious too. I had coffee with
stories
them
I've heard, yeah.
months ago. I met her mom, and her dad for coffee, and I understood her so much better after meeting her dad. He's a character. They're all like that, though.
but her
They're
mom was on the
hilarious.
couch last season,
Laughing
hilarious.
hysterically. Yeah, she loves me. Her mom
Good.
wants to cook for me. It still hasn't happened, Comfort, so I'm coming over for dinner soon.
Shoot,
Make
I'm
it happen.
coming too. That sounds fun.
Yeah, I wanna
we're all coming.
House party.
I love
Plus
Comfort.
one.
I really enjoyed her choreography, but I actually watched Paul a lot too.
He did a
so I
good
think-
job.
Yeah,
He
I mean,
did.
Paul kept up with her.
If Paul was not in a sweatshirt, he would have looked terrible.
Yeah.
That sweatshirt was helping him for miles.
Making him look like he was
He
down.
needed some
and,
weight, like some weight like
it
that.
was
Yeah.
Got in the pocket.
Yeah.
Got in the pocket.
They talk about that pocket a lot.
Yeah, but you know, he's been probably the most consistent male now. If you look at everyone's.
Yeah, I really like him.
I love Paul.
I think he's so cute.
Did you know who he was before the season started?
Actually, well, I don't know if you were there or not, but I went and watched LA auditions.
Oh,
and
yeah, I
he
was there.
He was there, and I got to see his first audition like live, and I just remember thinking, wow, because like he interpreted like other styles in his little ballroom dance, and I was just like, he's really good. And then when I found out he had won Armenia, I was like, oh, well.
Okay, well, we kind of teased about that at the beginning of the season. We're like, oh, he won Armenia, like to that, like.
Right.
Like,
We can't tease this anymore.
Yeah, you might as
He's
well-
actually
we're
really
like,
good.
He's legit.
So you think you dance Rhode Island or whatever is the joke I always make. That's what, we're like, not that. But we get it now. We understand why he beat so many of those other ballroom dancers out, because there are some guys we thought should have been in there ahead of him through Vegas. And oh my gosh,
He's
this guy.
so versatile.
Yeah, he's
It's
very
so
versatile.
He can do anything.
And he's so grateful. I know I talk about it every week, but he's so grateful. And he talks about his dance instructor, how that was his inspiration, and how he's had times in his life where he's had money issues and whatever else, and the guy has found a way to make everything happen for him.
Yeah.
Because having a career in dance is not cheap. It's not a cheap lifestyle. The traveling and the competitions and the costumes and
Shoes,
everything
class,
else.
Starting out,
Yeah, it's a commitment. And for him to be like this young and be so aware that, look, I wouldn't be here at all if it weren't for this guy, that was pretty cool. To give him like props like on national television, that was pretty neat.
It was. He's going to work a lot, and I have to tell you that he's got a lot of lady fans out there.
All
So
those girls screaming
It's
behind
his
the judges.
eyes.
yeah, you can hear him.
His eyes twinkle.
And his smile, he has like those.
has a good smile.
Yeah, he just twinkles. He twinkles.
He does
He's
twinkle.
very much like has that Disney little like twinkle when he smiles.
Hashtag
Bing.
twinkle.
Yeah.
Hashtag twinkle.
There it is. I'm a
for
fan.
doing.
Bing is for doing.
Watch out for Paul. I'm gonna call it now, like I do every week. All right, moving on. We've got Haley partnered with Dimitri.
Yes.
This is a rumba, yes?
Yeah.
All right,
Rumba.
got that right. This dance is all about cheating. All right.
I loved it.
I thought it was really hot.
No, huh?
Yes.
It was like,
I love what she was wearing for
Yes.
from ballroom. I was like, yes, this is great, and it brought me into the story, and I was connected without being like, oh, I'm gonna say a rumba.
right, I expected like fringe skirt, you know,
Yeah.
like the basic rumba
The
costume.
stereotypical costume.
Yeah.
that you
Right.
see.
I mean, Dimitri wasn't wearing a shirt, of course. Do you think
Does
that's in
he
the
ever?
contract? Yeah. Like,
I don't think he
do you
wears
think
own
he is
shirts.
allowed to wear a shirt?
He's like the
Because-
Chermosky brothers; they never wear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at this point, I feel like
Oh,
he's
Max.
not allowed.
But you know, Haley, for someone that's so sweet and all American looking, she does sexy very well. She's done it a few times this
A
season.
lot of times.
Yeah. They are like, well, you are sexy, and we're going to show it.
You know what I
Yeah,
felt like she
she
did?
is.
She did. Okay, going to another show you guys covered, Dance with the Stars. And I brought this up before. Kelly Monaco and the outfit she wore and that
It's
number.
very similar to
The
that, yeah.
Like I felt like Haley was like, "This is how you really wear that outfit," and here are some heels to go with it.
Because a lot of the rumbas on Dancing with the Stars have been no shoes and bare feet, and this was so. I don't know. I was like, oh, it's a new concept with heels on, and I was like, that's what ballroom's
That's
supposed
what
to be,
it should be.
anyways. But I thought Haley's legs, because she's very small, like a very petite
She's
person,
petite.
right?
I don't know.
But
I'm
her
not sure.
her legs, she was really extending through them, since she had those. There's something really. I don't know. She was just embodied that complete character of that dance. I say she really missed a calling to not doing ballroom before.
I actually agree
Like,
with you. There's
she's
a
completely
snapshot
amazing.
from last night's dance, and she's just like straight
That
pointed
hyper-extended
to.
leg is beautiful.
God, it's gorgeous.
And let's just talk about the pantyhose. What is that style where there's a black line down the back? What
It's-
is that?
It's a fishnet with a seam.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I'm not into ladies, but
And
I
those
could
would be tights.
Are they
Not
actually tights?
pantyhose.
Yeah,
See, I don't know. See, I don't even know.
I haven't heard that in forever.
Pantyhose? Tights?
I don't know. I didn't know the difference.
That was a grandpa.
Thank you. See,
I
neither
never
do I.
heard. I didn't know.
But
That
you,
was like
you
a
would
different
know.
thing.
I've never done drag.
So when you buy fishnets, when you buy
clown.
fishnets, you get your dance teacher will say fishnets or like fishnets with a seam. So like all of the Fosse stuff, you'll have fishnets with a seam.
And that's why I love Fosse.
There you go.
There it is.
There it is. There's a
There it
reason.
is.
I learned
That
something
was the
new every
one
week.
factor. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys. Well, before we go on to our last couple of dances, I want to take a moment to thank all of you for listening to us on iTunes. While you're there, please take a moment to rate us, give us 5 stars, tell your friends and family about us, and give us some pointers. Let us know what you guys think about the season so far. Let us know your predictions for the rest of the season. We will, when I say we, I mean Kristen, will get on there and comment back to you. She's a lot
I
better at it
talked to
than-
all you guys.
Yeah, she's really great at it. We're lucky to have her. And also, you guys, if you have an iPhone, there is an app for your iPhone called Podcast with an S, where you can have all of your favorite AfterBuzz shows automatically downloaded, so you can listen to us or your other shows wherever you like. Same thing with YouTube, you guys. Get on YouTube, leave us comments, we will comment back. So thank you so much for being fans and for hanging in there. It's been an exciting season. We love being here.
It's so good.
Yes. Moving on.
Jinx.
Thanks, iTunes. Moving on. We've got. Did we just do Dimitri? We just did Dimitri.
Yeah, we're on to Jenna.
Jenna and Mark. Okay, Jenna. The Jenna show. Once again. What kind of number was this?
This was jazz.
I wrote down jazz, then I put a question mark. See, I'm questioning myself.
Because it kind of
now.
looked hip hopish.
Okay.
I think,
Okay.
thought it was
Mary
supposed to be like
called it
jazz
like
funk.
new
Yeah.
age jazz funk.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let
Well,
somebody.
whatever it was
let's start-
effing amazing.
Yes, thank you.
It was da bomb. First, I want to start off with just the whole picture, and Mark's complete concept was perfect. He did a To Anyone song, which I don't know if you guys know, but that's like a Korean pop superstar girl group.
Yeah.
And they're amazing. And they were wearing very Jeremy Scott-like clothing, which To Anyone is very connected with. And then just the entire decor was like, he thought through every single piece of that. And just mixed with the choreography, you could not go wrong. It was amazing. It was such a risk, though.
It was.
The risk for
But
him
it paid
to do
off.
this.
It paid off.
And I mean, can you imagine Jenna in the rehearsal when he's like, I'm going to whip your braid around and you're going to like work
But
the
I feel like if there's going to be one girl in the top 4,
It's
she'd be
Jenna.
like, okay, like,
Yeah.
let me go for this.
Yeah.
This, like you said before, right before we went on, that she needed this dance like 3 weeks ago. So I think people would have been like, oh my God, because her fierce, like the fierceness that we always talk about, that's what she's always
Was
given.
used right.
It was used in the right way that was relatable and fun and kind of like poking fun at it a little bit.
Yeah, and
it was so
funky.
nice.
Yeah.
And for anybody who hasn't tried this, a head roll like that is actually really hard.
Well, to swing that whole hair, yeah.
So you do that. in
I know.
your
I
room.
was obsessed after
Yeah.
Lady Gaga did "Born This Way" for the first time at the Grammys. Was it a few years
Yeah.
ago? She came out of the egg.
Yeah.
The boom, boom. I was like, oh, I'm gonna try this. Just be silly with my friends. It's really hard to do a fast circle with your head. I have no idea why.
She's got the hair flipped
Maybe
down. You should
Yeah.
I
her
was gonna
solo that
say.
she tried out.
Does the hair help?
Sometimes I mean, I think it does. It gives you a whole different
gives
attitude.
weight.
It's a life
Who
of
wants
its
to be
own.
like sexy in a bun?
Yeah. The hair does help, and it
that's
gives
true.
you, when you spin your head like that, it gives it, if it's
That
in a ponytail,
momentum.
it gives it weight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So
and
try
if
it
it's a
again with the
braid-
ponytail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm,
Yeah.
the, and
Or
I'm
the
the one
braid.
doing drag.
Ah!
Clown.
I'm not saying
Clown.
I didn't say I haven't. Wait, yes, I did. No, if I had to do drag at one point in my
Halloween's
You
coming
have a
up,
braid?
man.
life, no, that is the gateway. That is the gateway to a life of drag. Halloween. Every gateway.
Halloween is the gateway
I'll try it
drug.
once on Halloween, and then
The gateway
They spiral.
holiday.
I thought this number was really sexy. I loved the tongue coming out.
Oh, it's so awesome.
That was like my favorite part when they were like, bam, red carpet.
I think this was the dance too that you like saw, and I thought we need new choreographers on this show. This
Yeah.
really sort of sealed the deal for me, and I just thought it was fresh, it was exciting, and I hope we do see some of the all stars come back or other new choreographers that have nothing to do with So You Think You Can Dance. But I think it's a great opportunity.
It made me feel like I used to feel when I watched the show a few years ago. Like I was so like, and just like the little nuanced moments where right when they got on the red carpet and she kind of walked, she slowed down for like just a beat, and then she picked it up again.
Grabbed that
Like little
ponytail,
things like
yeah.
that. I'm like, it's fun to like when you watch like the jive at the beginning of the episode. They're great. It's fast, but it's like hit go and like
Yeah.
you're
no texture.
Yeah, there's nothing, no
Yeah.
layers to it, no like
There's levels.
Yes, I love just those little moments where you just put her on his back and walk like, oh, okay, I'm gonna squat down, I'm gonna take out like.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
That move.
Those little things are so interesting.
Yeah,
And
he made
he's-
a lot of smart
He's
choices.
brilliant, and Nigel did point out, he's like, you shouldn't be just Lady Gaga's #1 dancer. You should be your #1 choreographer, which made me ask, who choreographs for Gaga?
His
I don't
name
know.
is. He used to assist Lorianne Gibson, and then she fired Lorianne Gibson and made her assistant her
Oh,
choreographer.
wow.
I can look,
Yeah.
see if we can get the name.
I was like,
Pretty sure he did a lot of the work anyway when
I
Lorianne
know.
was there.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I was like,
because he went on tour. He was actually on tour. If you watch the performance, VMA performance of Paparazzi, he's the one with the thong on his face.
Okay. Well, I was wondering, like,
I don't
when
know how
he
I know
made
that,
that, I'm
but I
like,
do.
is that a jab at somebody else? I was kind of curious. I'm like, does that seem like to make that kind of a statement? Like,
Well,
I think it's a
heard
compliment.
something. I was looking on Instagram and Twitter, and I think that Mark is not dancing with Lady Gaga anymore.
Oh.
And usually in her videos, she always kind of features him, and in this most recent applause video, he's not in it anywhere. So,
It is Richie Jackson.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we'll
Yes,
see.
yes, yes.
We'll see.
Oh,
Maybe
that's
this was his opportunity to kind of showcase what he can do.
Yeah.
I'm glad he came on because, I mean, we would have never known that he was that great of a choreographer.
Absolutely.
Well, we know he's
Totally.
brilliant and quirky and weird.
He's always been that way.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
great.
But
This
though.
is more.
Nobody
This is
else
like such
like
a
it.
polished thing. I think that these years after he's been off So You Think You Dance have really polished him into this really refined performer who is so unique and cool.
And a
I just love him.
creator, just a complete creator, like seeing a whole image and putting it together.
Yeah.
It was-
Innovative.
Super talented.
and I loved what inspires him.
Drag queens, aliens.
drag queens, and himself.
Well, don't those things inspire all of us?
I think so.
Yeah, he said that.
I mean,
That's
that's at the top of
genius.
my list.
So awesome.
I love him. He's a little bit arrogant and he's not afraid. But he was very grateful. Like when they were giving him compliments,
cried.
the tears were welling up.
He
and I thought,
cried the whole walk off. He was walking slow, and you could tell. It was
Yeah.
really touching.
love him. Moving on. We've got Twitch back again. He's always back. Paired with shocking Jasmine. Of course they were going to put them together.
Okay, Chloe.
We knew they would pair these two together. If they weren't going to bring back Cyrus to dance with her, it was going to be Twitch.
I didn't think they would do it. I didn't think they would,
No.
and I was so happy.
Yeah, thank God.
So happy.
I don't care.
We were
Cyrus.
predicting all
cute.
season that they were going to have the exes dance together
Right.
for drama.
Oh man.
that would have been good.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I don't think
if
that would have happened. I was gonna say I don't think he would have said yes, to be
I
honest.
think he would have been like, maybe not.
Just
Really?
because he would have seen what they were trying to do.
Oh, that's true.
He's a smart guy. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's too much.
Don't manipulate it.
But
Yeah.
guess what? She's a smart girl too because she's milked it all season long. She milked it just enough to get on the
Just
show
enough.
Good for
and then
her.
she backed off.
Just enough.
It
Yeah.
hasn't come up in weeks, which I think is a
No.
really smart move. Because you don't want to be that girl who's just like whining about your ex all the time and thinking like, you don't want to like be the thing that drives you through the
Nobody
show.
likes
And she
that.
also doesn't have to rely on a story
At all.
to
Nope.
carry her through the competition.
At all. But what did we think about this number though, you guys?
I watched Jasmine. Twitch was not stealing the
I did-
focus the whole time. I was
I did
really
too.
surprised. I was really surprised because it was nerve-wracking.
I see it in Kristyn's
What?
eyes. I think we might agree on one dance.
Yeah, I actually watched Twitch.
Yeah.
And because it was his style, and I thought Jasmine was good, but I do feel like she wasn't as present in this dance as I've seen her in previous weeks. And I love Jasmine. You guys know that I've been
Yeah.
a fan from day one. So
I felt like her hair was like too momish. I felt like she has such an edge to her all the time, and the costuming was strange. I felt like he really tried to force the concept. And outside of the first like couple of 8 counts of this number, like I said, 8 counts there. Just gotta throw that in there.
Nice.
After that, I feel like the concept
That's a
didn't make
step
any
up.
sense anymore. Like once they showed like, oh, we're gonna really play to the camera and show you that we're trying to be superheroes, going after the same thing. We're gonna open our shirts, and then the concept just fell flat.
yeah, and this is sometimes where you run into the danger of like we have to create a story, we have to create a concept, and then if the audience is looking for that concept, then you go, is it here? Is it there? What happened? And that's sometimes why I don't like to hear like, here's the storyline.
Right.
What did you guys think of it?
I watch Twitch just because I love
Twitch.
him.
I always watch
I love
Twitch.
him, and he's such a good person.
He's awesome.
And I learned so much from him when I got to
Yeah,
dance
you
with him.
I know.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and so I don't know. I was just like, oh, I love like
What's it
watching
like?
him.
What's it like working with Twitch in the studio? Because I think we all admire him, whether we're in studio and dancing with him or not. You know, he's amazing.
I mean, I couldn't have gotten luckier. I think if I had gotten hip hop with someone else, they might not have been as caring and like, just he broke
he looked
down
out for you pretty
everything.
well.
Yeah, he was definitely like the, don't worry about it, like it's gonna be okay. Because I was like hip hop. Oh my God.
That was a Dave Scott piece you guys did together. Yeah.
Yes. But whenever Dave Scott taught it, I was like,
I love Dave.
I was like, there's no way I will ever know what's going on with their bodies. But he just was like, calm down, we'll break it down. It's
he
okay.
just seems like the nicest guy.
Oh, he is. He
That's
really
the thing. He
is.
really is.
Huh.
Yeah.
Awesome.
There's
well,
nothing bad to say about
there really
Twitch.
isn't.
No.
I did feel like Jasmine didn't have her best night. I felt like she was good. But I feel like Twitch is just Twitch. But in all fairness, though, like I said, I didn't think the choreography was phenomenal.
Yeah,
Yep.
it was a lot of walking around and like weird punches and stuff. I was just like, just dance, because he's so good and he's so grounded and like nasty when he moves. And I just wanted her to like, because she can do anything.
I hate it when there's too much mugging in
Yeah.
hip hop, and that's been happening a lot on the show this season.
Well,
Not
with Mariah, she was like mugging the whole time. Like
You're
that's
like,
all she was doing. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
I could do that.
That's very.
I can too.
Is
which
that like what's
she
hip?
was-
Is
she
that
was-
what's hip
Is
with
that what-
hip hop?
I don't know. Have you guys seen a lot of the mugging going on? I don't
Yeah.
know what it is, and
I actually think it is. I think even in
I
like
wouldn't know.
class, I think people like because I take a lot of hip hop class, but like the little bit that I've been to, like people are all about it, and I'm
Well, I
just
feel
like,
like
all right, bye.
a lot of the hip hop has been like, look, we're getting ready to dance. There's a
Yeah.
lot of like, look, we're looking at each other,
Yeah.
throwing our chest down, and
that's
getting ready to
true.
dance.
like
a
I'm
lot of
throwing
like
down.
this, they're coming at you,
Here
and
comes.
it's just
Literally.
done.
Look, I'm
Just
in the
dance.
pocket right now. I'm just gonna stay there and hang out.
We're gonna hang out in the pocket. AJ and I.
Get an iced coffee at Starbucks because that's my type of hip hop would look a little bit something like that. Whoops. All right. What were you gonna say about me? We're gonna tease me?
No, I was gonna say let's get
let's
to
move-
the next dance.
Let's give them their due time.
Yes.
Travis Wall comes back. He's paired with Amy. This is a contemporary number. I know that much.
Drop the mic. Go.
You drop the mic.
Yeah.
Boom.
What can you say
Gorgeous.
about this number?
I can say that if Amy doesn't win, it's a problem.
Oh.
She nailed it.
Bam.
Boom.
I mean,
So good.
This was the best dance of the season by
Yeah.
far.
I don't
You know,
know.
I want to talk about partnering because we talked a lot about partnering during this entire season and what's good and what's bad. You want to know what good partnering looks like? It was in that dance.
Oh my Lord.
Those lifts were incredible. What the two of them were doing, the
Seamless.
leaps, seamless,
It was just
flawless.
like it was. The timing was just so excellent. It was ridiculous.
How about those turns in sync?
They nailed it.
Those are incredible.
When that happened, I
Triple
literally
turn.
screamed. I was like,
Yes.
It was the tour into Trav's arms that just really,
with his
really.
voice in the song, I was like,
That's
I
what
can't.
that's what I mean. Timing wise, I mean, it's over.
was
That
so
was
good.
it.
Stop.
Here's what blows my mind. Travis said he was scared. He was
I'm
scared
sure.
to dance.
Oh, absolutely.
'Cause
That
he doesn't
doesn't
really
surprise
dance
me.
anymore.
He does.
So
He's shaping sound.
Yeah, he dances
Yeah,
with
he's shaping
company.
sound.
But he's also works in the choreography world a lot more than some of these other people, correct?
On the show,
Oh,
but
yeah.
he's still
No?
dancing
Okay.
for the public and
But just not.
not on So You Think You Can Dance.
Yeah.
I think.
That's wild to me that he'd
I'm
ever
sure
be
it's
like
like nervous coming
He
back to
always is
Nigel.
like that.
I think that would. I mean, I think that would be more nervous
But what season was he on?
coming
Like,
back on the actual show that you know.
was he
Where you
season-
started your
Yeah, where you started.
probably.
I
I
feel like
mean,
that would be
And where
2 or
you
3?
choreograph
Yeah.
every
2.
week
2.
almost.
totally.
Yeah.
8 years ago, almost 9 years ago. I mean,
I know.
It's kind of wild to think like
A long
for a
time.
dancer to be at that caliber then and to be 9 years later to be doing what he just did.
Yeah.
That's pretty badass.
He's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
he
He's
really
great.
is.
I actually think
I love
that
him.
he dances better now than he did back then.
Yeah.
Because there was something about him when I watched him season 2, and I couldn't really relate to him that well. But there's something about him that he just kind of like let it happen, and there was just like it was just the two of them, and he wasn't worried about I'm doing turns right now, or I'm putting on a show.
That's what
Well,
Haley
I think it
needs.
was. I think it was his stuff too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He felt very comfortable
lived.
with it,
Movements in your
and
body.
he's grown so much more with. I can see what you're saying with how he's changed.
But it happens a lot
for
with the
sure.
people that are technicians as dancers, and I think that's what Jen Elfin was saying when she was talking about Haley, which is let it go, just like go for it.
Because
Like,
Haley could be like an Allison type of dancer. Because
so.
Allison, I think, is a way better dancer now than she was back then.
Oh, for
well,
sure.
it comes,
for
it comes
sure.
with
Well,
age.
we all
Yeah,
keep
definitely.
training. You know,
And
we all
life
have
with age,
experience.
experience. Yeah, you
absolutely.
understand yourself better, and it shows
Yeah.
through your art.
Yeah. I really, really thought this was just unreal.
It was.
The thing where she did the double twist kind of thing and just he caught her.
Yeah,
They were
the
so
tour into his
beautiful.
arms was
Yeah,
like,
that- oh, that's
In
what you're
sync
talking
with the
about?
guy's voice. Yeah.
That's what you're talking
yeah,
about.
it was
see?
like it was so good.
I
don't-
also loved when she was just laying down and then he slid onto her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she just arched her back at the perfect time. It was just, oh my gosh, you felt in your whole body
Yeah.
just watching them how like the emotion through the dance and that move. And then from the ground, Nigel talked about it from the,
The flying
ground.
squirrel, I called
yeah,
it. It was
yes.
just like
Yeah.
amazing.
Oh, that last, yeah.
And talk about
Shock
partnering.
moves, yeah.
I mean, she really had to trust him, and he
yeah.
caught her at the very
And
end.
her toes,
He's a
like,
good partner.
Her toes are back and they just land. She
over,
lands
yeah.
on the top of her feet like that, just
Yeah.
fully extended. Just
Stunning.
I'm like, he doesn't catch her. She breaks something. Breaks both ankles or something. I mean,
Absolutely.
that's
She would just
good.
roll out of it. She would do something.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
Amy.
She'd find it.
It just the whole thing. It just felt like it was underwater. That's how seamless it was. It was just so
Yeah.
nice.
I can tell you have something you want to say.
Well, there was just another move that I literally was like, I've never seen something like this before.
The back one.
Yeah, to the ground.
Yeah.
Yes.
They
yes.
like
yes.
she wrapped a leg around his shoulder and they paused
She
for a
arched
second.
back.
And he looked
and
at
then
her,
they
yeah.
went. I don't know what happened, but they went down
It was
into like a
beautiful.
almost.
That's
a
when I like
fish.
when they do replays. Like that would be. There are certain moments in that
Yeah.
dance I would have loved
Right.
to see a replay of because I'm like, oh,
in
They
a
should
slow
just-
motion.
Been
Yes.
like, let's watch it again. All
I
of
had
it.
to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to watch it 3 times because I was like,
watched-
I need to watch every move again.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. I brought my boyfriend and I'm like, you need to see this one. You just have to
Watch
see it.
this.
Just because you're human, you need to watch this.
Because you're human,
yeah.
exactly.
But at the end of the episode, we find out Tucker's out and Jenna's out. I thought they're both very adult,
Gracious.
very gracious.
And Jenna has handled, I have to say, being in the bottom 3 all season long, she has handled it very well.
She's a tough girl, which maybe could have been her downfall. Maybe that's why people weren't relating to her. But it'll help her in life, and it'll help her in the dance world.
She's going to work a lot.
We have a couple minutes left. We have some questions for you.
Yeah, I'll try and get a few out. Okay, so this is from Cecile. It says, hey, Audrey and Matthew, what was your favorite dance of your season that you wish you could have danced?
Oh, definitely for me, Eliana and
Bang Bang.
Bang Bang, for sure.
Yeah,
Stacey Tukey.
Oh my God.
Really got it.
I really liked Tiffany's Jive. I know Jive is like, Jive.
You know what? Tiffany's
With
disco.
Benji?
How about that?
Oh,
Yeah.
Tiffany's
We just we just wanted a disco
we wanted
every
disco
day
so bad.
of our lives.
Imagine dancing disco.
You
Audrey,
can do a little disco for us
Probably.
later.
Okay.
Oh, okay, maybe.
We do
Maybe
know
I'll-
a good routine.
Audrey, I
We
think
do.
that
Love disco.
Eliana and Tiffany thing, with the pole and stuff, the jazz piece, the Ray
Oh,
Liotta
yeah,
piece,
yeah.
you would have killed the hell out of that.
Yeah, you would have.
I just gotta say that.
From Everly, this is a great one. Why do you think so many contestants are getting injured this season? Are they routines harder, or is it lack of training? Probably lack of warming up is probably my guess.
I honestly.
Shoot, I don't know.
I mean-
It's so random. It can happen anytime. I don't know why. I just broke my foot. It's still healing.
yeah.
We had a show July 2nd, and it broke it, and it's getting better. It was so random. Who knows?
I think
don't
it's
know.
just one of those random things that happens.
I mean, it could be like not trained in the styles that they're doing. It could be that, but who knows? You can't accredit it to anything. It's just random, I think.
Maybe
because
they're
I was
just
like, I know what
really-
I'm doing, but broke.
Working
Yeah.
hard.
So,
It's a lot of pressure. A lot of
Yeah.
pressure. What else, Kristyn? What do you
All
got?
right, I'll do one more because this is I don't know how you pronounce this. It's your last names mashed together, but I know that they run your fan.
Kazmierczak.
Kazmierczak. Okay, perfect. I know I had to ask the Kazmierczak
That guy's
question.
so sweet.
He's so
Yeah.
sweet. He's been great all week. Hope you remember your biggest fan. Congratulations on the Emmy-nominated routines,
Oh,
which is
yeah.
exciting.
Yeah.
How has your life changed after the show? For both of you.
Well, I moved out here, which was cool. After from Oklahoma.
Where in Oklahoma?
Woo.
Edmond.
I have a family in Edmond and
Really?
Yukon also. Yeah.
My uncle lives there
Yeah.
too.
All I have to say,
Oklahoma. I feel like you meet the randomest people from Oklahoma.
Brahms ice cream. That's all I have to say.
Oh, so
Continue.
good, right? You can't find it anywhere else. Moved out here after tour, which
Yeah,
I moved
tour
out
was
here in
a blast.
February. Out here, I've just been doing like shows. I judged a little bit for dance competitions, teaching at little conventions here and there, and we're about to go to Canada.
yeah, we have a company we're doing in Canada
We
together.
just signed a contract.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
You guys are dancing with Kristyn McQuaid too in September?
Oh yeah, I am.
Yes.
You are,
Yeah.
okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kristyn just contacted me. I'm going to do the red carpet for it.
Oh, cool.
That's right. She
Yes.
was like, "You guys have to get a really good dress, like get your heels on. You're gonna have your makeup done." I was like, "Okay."
Yeah.
That's going to be really hard for you, I'm sure. What's been the biggest change for you?
I don't know about change. I think it just, honestly, like what you said earlier, like the show really does launch your career, and it makes you a household name. And if you're smart, you can run with it, and you can try to, you know what I mean, try to stay in the public eye. I know that I'm working on acting right now. I'm doing some things like that.
Ryan Gosling.
But yeah, for me, it just, it got me a couple jobs. I did an episode of How I Met Your Mother. I just did some dancing in that, and I have something coming up that I'm keeping my fingers crossed for.
Awesome.
And yeah, other than that, like kind of like her, I've been teaching, doing some conventions, choreography, traveling around. I did
So cool.
same show as her and one other one. So
Well, good luck.
Awesome.
Good luck
I
with,
love that.
with the opportunity. We'll
Thank you.
we'll keep our fingers crossed for you as well.
thank you.
And just a quick update, if people didn't know about the whole alternates on tour and everything, all the tappers are going. Melise, Alan, Alexis Curtis, they're all going as alternates on the tour. So
Oh,
all three
wow.
tappers will be there
14.
this year.
That's
Wow.
cool.
Yeah.
Cool tap number.
Well, they
Can't
better
wait.
all get ready because it's hard.
Awesome. You guys, well, first of all, I want to thank you guys so much for being here. You guys are
Absolutely.
Thank you for
fantastic
having
guests.
us.
Where
Thank you.
can all of our fans follow you guys on social media?
I'm Dance on Audrey on Twitter.
Dance Line Matthew, and then Matthew_Kaz on Instagram. That's pretty much what I
Audrey
got.
Case on Instagram.
Awesome. Chloe West, where you at?
You can find me Twitter and Instagram at Chloe West X.
Kristyn Burtt.
All right, redcarpetcloset.tv is my blog, and I'll discuss who I think is going home next week. And at Kristyn Burtt is Twitter.
Twitter, Jake_Dupree, and on Instagram at Jake Dupree.
All social media, _AJ Gibson. You had to remind me that earlier, Chloe West. At _AJ Gibson. My website is ajgibson.tv. Until until next week, thank you guys so much for stopping by. Take care.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.